Hi Angie, how are you? This is your lesson 9, Sun and Dust Storms. Okay, so what is a sandstorm or a dust storm? It's when the sun or the dust that it's on the ground gets really, really hot and it's lifted up in the air because of that hot air. Because as you remember that we talked last year, hot air rises, goes up. So all of that dust, all of that sun goes up in the air and it causes a storm. Okay, and in your lesson, it tells you that it usually happens in desert areas, meaning areas where there is not a lot of plants or trees. So the dust or the sun it's exposed. And when that happens, when there's a sun or dust storm, it can be really dangerous because it's difficult to drive a car in that condition because you can't see anything. So if someone is in the middle of a dust or sandstorm, they gotta look for shelter, they gotta hide. For the vocabulary of your lesson, you have three different words. The first one it's erosion, that if you remember we talked about it last year, means that something is being worn away little by little. For example, we talk about erosion when we talk about the waves crashing on the rocks. They are being worn away little by little and then they form sand. Or when you have a big rock and then the wind comes rushing by year by year, century by century, then it wears away the rock. Or also, we talk about erosion of the ground when the wind or water wear it away and you lose some of that quality of the soil thanks to the elements because there are not trees there. Then the next word that you have is geographic. It means that it has to do with the earth's geography, with the shape of the earth, with the type of land masses. And then you have the word weathering. Weathering means action of air, water, frost, and wind on rocks and other things of the earth. Means like that the elements affect the earth, affects the ground, affects the rock. Okay, so as I explained before, sun and dust storms happen when the grass or crops are not well rooted in the soil. So the sun or the dust is loose, and that's why it goes up in the air. Also, sand dunes. If you have ever been to the desert or Ica maybe, and you have seen the sand dunes, that's the result of the sand being blown into heaps. And some people actually do sandboarding here in Peru, in Ica, but that's an effect of erosion. I'm sending you a PowerPoint that explains with pictures a little bit about how does a sandstorm look or a dust storm. Also, it shows you a picture of the dunes and then another picture of how rocks look after erosion. And then your lesson talk about geographic changes. So water, plants, ice, and changing temperature all work together to break up the rocks and soil. And then weathering takes place. Water soaks into cracks, little cracks in the rock, and freezes when we have cold weather or in the night. Over time, the rock can actually split. Can you imagine? Just a little bit of water and air can make a rock split. Water and strong winds wear down the land surface. That's called erosion. Dust and sandstorms move soil from one place to the other. And pieces of wind driven sand can wear away parts of huge rocks and form strange shapes, like the one I sent you in the picture. Okay? That's it for your lesson. If you have any question, just contact me so we can solve.